We're going to talk about holiday dating, okay? And there are a couple of things I'm going to talk about. I'm going to talk about breadcrumbing. I'm going to talk about cuffing season. Some of the red flags that you need to look out for, because there are daters out there, anxious avoidance that are out there that tend to pop up during this time because it's the holiday season and they don't want to spend the holidays alone. So these are red flag type of relationships, and I'm going to get into details. Have you experienced breadcrumbing before, where, somebody has kind of come in and out of your life? Has that happened to you? And if it has, let me know in the comments. And we're going to talk about how to date smart, how to be good about your decisions during this holiday season, because there's going to be tons of people coming out and trying to get that, quick hookup or that relationship for the holidays so that they're not alone. And we want you to have something more long lasting, right? How many of you really want to find your person and you're ready for that? Leave a comment below and let me know where you're joining from. Again, I'm excited to share some of these tips. So, statistically, dating, I will share this with you. Online dating is going to boost in January. So if you want to start dating and kind of practice right now, this is a good time. However, it's really, really important that you make choices that lead to something long lasting. So when we talk about dating during the holiday months, cuffing season starts from October and goes all the way to Valentine's Day. And what cuffing season is, it's just a short period where singles, you'll see a lot of people go online and start trying to find a relationship so that they can start having a warm body, so that they can go to the holiday parties and show up with somebody on their arm. The problem is these are short-term relationships, and a lot of avoidant attachments and anxious attachers tend to fall into these category of relationships. You've probably heard of them. Hi, Deb Roseville. Nice. You've probably heard of these type of relationships throughout the year, and they're called situationships. How many of you know what a situationship is? If you do, go ahead and tell me what your definition of it is below. But what it is you get into relationships because of a situation, right? And this is a holiday situation. And so these situationships start existing. And what happens is your ex from 2 years ago, or a guy you dated for several months that ghosted you, starts showing up and starts messaging you with very little effort. And they don't apologize for ghosting. They don't apologize for their behavior. There's no accountability. It's almost like something they did that was so hurtful, so bad to you, never happened. Who can relate to this? I can definitely relate to this. I used to, date people that did this to me until my picker was fixed and I chose somebody that took accountability. But I'll share with you where this plays a part, and we can't point the finger at the dater the whole entire time. And you're not going to like hearing this, but this is going to help you tremendously stay focused so that you don't fall into that dating trap again. And so what this is that these people that date this way, they date this way so that they feed on your ego. They know that most singles out there are lonely and they want companionship. So they know that if they can just promise you with words and not actions, right? Maybe temporary actions. They love bomb you. They shower you with compliments, get you gifts, those things. They do it very quickly to get you hooked. And so you need to be smarter than that. You need to have more self-control and realize that this person is trying to love bomb you. Because at the end of the day, the love bomb is for them to get their needs met, not yours, but for them to try to get you hooked onto them again so that they can have a situationship that works to their benefit. So how many of you have felt like you've experienced a situationship? If you have, put a 1 in the comment section so that we can, I'll get into more details of how to catch it and stop it. And then let's talk about breadcrumbing. Breadcrumbing, I think, is just cruel. It is the most horrible way, where somebody will, oh, Liz, I'm with you. Thank you for sharing. So breadcrumbing is where somebody you'll text them and you'll message them and you'll tell them that, you just want to connect with them. And all of a sudden they don't text you back. They don't message you, but then they'll check your Instagram. They'll like your post. They will look at your stories. They'll maybe heart your stories, but they will not contact you back. So there's this emotional unavailability that's going on where they're like, I'll give you a little bite so that you can get hooked onto me, that you'll still like me, that you'll still think that you have a chance with me. Yet, I'm not going to call you back. I'm not going to treat you like a priority. And not until I need something from you. Not until I have needs, then I'll reach out and just, connect with you. And then once I get my needs met, I disappear again. It's horrible. It's very hurtful, breadcrumbing. And so a lot of breadcrumbers are the ones that are avoidant attachment types, right? And anxious attachment types. And so they're the ones that tend to really show up during the seasonal situationship called cuffing season, right? So you need to be aware of that. How many, and they feed, okay, on the fact that they know that they're getting you addicted to them. You know this in the back of your mind. There's a red flag glaring, but the things that they say, oh my God, you're so amazing. I missed you. I made a mistake. I should have never ended things with you. We should give it another try. And never taking accountability for the bad things that they did to break your heart and the horrible things that they did that made you feel they're breaking your confidence, just breaking you down to the point where you get so low and you're like, I feel like I'm going to I need this person to turn things around. And because they love bombed you and they made you so addicted to the feeling and the high of being adored and worshipped, and that's what they do. They use worship to make you addicted to them, right? And then they pull back, and then all of a sudden your self-confidence just keeps going, and then you want to do everything and anything to get that feeling back. So the breadcrumbing along with the way that they date, because they're not emotionally available people. If they were emotionally available, they would take accountability. They would come to your door and they would say, I'm so sorry. I did what I did, and this is what I did to change this. I went and worked on myself. I went to therapy. I've learned how to express my emotions. I want a second chance with you. That's a different conversation, a different connection, right? Than somebody that is worshiping you and saying things like, you're amazing, you're beautiful, you're the only one, without really, really getting to know you and really, really getting to understand what makes you tick and what makes you happy, right? It's such a superficial way of connection that we get confused because adoration feels so good. Liz says, what is an anxious type? I've never heard of that. Okay, so there are different attachment types. There are secure attachments. And that's the goal, what we want in my masterclass where I talk about, how to find lasting love. I talk about the different attachment types. The goal is to turn you into a secure attachment type. There's an anxious attachment type, which is the type that when you get into a relationship, They say everything that you want to hear. They like, they're excited about the relationship. It feels like they're genuine. But when things start getting serious, things start getting very emotional, right? There's some emotional like depth and vulnerability that needs to show up. They start getting anxious and they start to self-sabotage because deep rooted, there's an insecurity inside of them that they don't believe that, in love or love that is like, that would really exist for them. So it really has nothing to do with you. The anxious attachments, they run away because they're the deep rooted fear. There's a deep rooted fear that they're going to get rejected or they're going to get hurt if they really love. So they hurt you first so that they don't get hurt. Okay? Does that help explain it, Liz? And then the avoidant attachments types are the ones that as soon as the relationship turns into an actual relationship, they run the other way. And it is not, and it's because they fear their own emotions. They haven't processed or understood their own emotions when it comes to relationships. So when things get even any emotion at all, they just avoid it altogether. So what we want for you, and it's so important, I talk about this in my masterclass, is to become a secure attachment style. And the reason why you have to work on yourself first, and I will use myself as an example. I was an anxious attacher, and I didn't know that. I wanted a relationship deeply, but I would attract avoidance because, and anxious attachers too. And when I met, I see that I was anxious. And so this is why you need to work on yourself first. And I did take a break in dating and literally dated myself and worked on myself the whole entire time. And because of that, I was able to turn myself into more of a secure attachment type. And that's when I met my husband, and we just celebrated 10 years. So I want you to know, and we actually got engaged within 8 months of dating because I was secure with who I was and I knew exactly what I wanted, and he same, right? So like attracts like. So it's important for you when you're going through the process of stopping yourself from dating these, different types of people, that you need to work on becoming secure. And when you're secure, you're going to see the red flags. You're not going to tolerate the adoration and the worship. You're going to realize you can see him from a mile away because you're already secure. You don't need validation from somebody else to tell you that you're an awesome human being. But they feed these breadcrumbers and these, situationships. They feed off of insecurity. They feed off of the feeling of loneliness. They know that if they keep telling you what you want to hear, and again, there's very little action, okay? Their follow through is very, very little follow through. But they feed off of it, so they know that you feed off of it, so they just keep saying it so that they can get you hooked and get what they want. So what do? In this situation, how do you become more secure? Let's practice, right? Because this is going to be a whole new perspective for you. Is just making sure that you first have really good boundaries. So many people tell me, they say, oh, Amy, I know my boundaries. I know my non-negotiables. I know my deal breakers. That may be true, but they're not practicing it through their actions. As soon as they get adoration or somebody that compliments them or makes them feel, validated and just wonderful, all of their boundaries, all of their non-negotiables that they have so clearly understood gets thrown out the window. And then all of a sudden, the addiction gets turned on because this person has love bombed them and made them so addicted to them that now they just are wanting to keep that feeling consistent. So you need to stop. If you want somebody to honor your boundaries, you need to do it yourself. I really want you to do that as a practice. Even if this person tells you everything you want to hear, learn how to say no to what you don't want. Because what happens is you're dating this person, you know it's not real. They are telling you compliments, but they have not really gotten to know you as a person. They're not getting to know your heart. They don't know anything about you, okay? And because they don't, you know that this is so temporary. Why not say no to them and make room for somebody that actually genuinely wants a deep connection with you? Somebody that wants to know you from the inside out, right? That they want to make you happy. It's not about just meeting their needs, but truly what's important to you as a person. How can they be there for you, right? If this is the holiday season and it's about giving, how are they giving to you? Not just gifts, but giving to you in their time, in respect, in how they make you feel as a person. What are they doing to show up for you? So I'll leave you with that. And let me check if you have any questions. If there are any questions, press the little bubble button on the bottom and go ahead and put your question in there, and then I will answer them if you have any questions. And I highly suggest, if you are in the dating rut doing the same thing over and over again and you're not seeing results, you're just dating the same person with a different face, I highly recommend that you go and sign up for my masterclass. It's a free masterclass. I share my most powerful secrets on how to date and how to find that person, your person, that's going to level up your dating life and really be that person that shows up for you, not just a companion. Okay? Thanks, Liz. Hope to see you soon. And please do follow me on Facebook and follow me on Instagram. All right. If you have any more questions, please leave them in. There's a little bubble right now. On the bottom right, you can put a question in. We've been talking about breadcrumbing. We've been talking about cuffing season, anything about dating. If you have any questions, leave them in that little bubble. And if I don't get them right now, I'll get them later and I will answer them either in another video, or I can answer them in comments. Okay. Thank you so much for joining. I hope this was really helpful, and I will see you next time. All right? And don't forget to sign up for my masterclass. Bye.